Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and watch this video till the end. In this video, I'm going to show you how I cut my bustier top. So the first thing I did was to fold my paper into two and marked my vertical measurements, which was my chest line, my bust point, my under bust point, my waistline, and then the hemline. Then I connected those lines, just as you see me doing. Then the next thing I did was to mark out my neck measurements, just as you see me doing. I took 3 inches for the depth and 3 inches for the width, and then I gave that a good curve. Then I went ahead to label my lines, the chest line, the bust points, on the bust, the waist, and the hemline. The next thing I did was mark out my nipple to nipple measurement, which was 4 inches without allowance, because I'm going to be adding that half-inch allowance while cutting it on my fabric. Please take note. If you want to add your allowance, you can still add it, but I don't always add it. So the next thing I did, I came down to my under bust point, and I marked out 1.5 inch on the side and 1 inch on the middle part, from my under bust point to my waist point to my hemline. Then I connected those lines together, just as you see me doing in this video. Then the next thing I did was to give that a good curve, because I don't really fancy using this French curve. It doesn't really come out well for me. I like using my free hands. So I gave that a good curve and connected it to the bust point. Then the next thing I did, I marked out 1 inch on both sides on the chest line, and then I connected those lines to give it a very good curve, just as you see me doing in this video. The next thing I did was to mark out my bust measurement. I added my allowance and sewing allowance. Then I came down to my under bust, marked out my under bust measurement, added the allowance I took for the darts, and also added my sewing allowance. The same thing I did on my waistline, marked out the waist measurement, added the dart allowance and my sewing allowance. Same thing I did on the hemline. Then the next thing I did was to connect those lines, just as you see me doing in this video. Then after connecting the lines, I went back to my chest line. I went back to my chest line and measured my chest measurements. I marked it. I added that allowance and also added my sewing allowance of 1 inch, and I connected it as so. Then for the under bust tightening, I came down from the bust point by 1 inch. I marked it and then I folded it just as you see me doing. I folded it and I pinned it down so that it doesn't go off. So I pinned it down and then I went ahead to cut just as you see me doing. Yes, that is all for this video. Remember, I said I was going to use the other parts for the back measurement for the back, so I decided to cut it open so I can make use of the other part for my back. Then I cut it as you see me doing. Please be careful when cutting it so you don't cut out the important part. Just cut out the dark part of it, just as I did here. So on my next video, I'm going to show you guys the results of our bustier, how it came out, and I know you guys will love it. Thank you for watching. Bye.